everyone, join me as I explore some different areas of artist block. And this is overcoming really, really hard moments, those moments where you really can't do anything. You are full up to the rim with life responsibilities. I'm going to help you out with some things that give yourself a little bit of love back so you can give more love out. So stay tuned, subscribe, hit that like button, and if there's any other things that you want me to address and just what I've experienced and creating and stuff like that, put the comments down below and I'll see what I can do to address it. But otherwise, hang on tight and hopefully this will help. See ya. Hey everyone, I wanted to talk to you about the last part of this series on creative block. Now, what we're going to talk about here is that those times in your life where you really get surrounded with heavy loads of things. You really have absolutely no time to create. Maybe you have a very little one in the house, a new baby. It could be a family member in the hospital. It could be just you are in so much pain, or you're dealing with your own illness yourself, or your house is packed up. You have no studio. You have nowhere to create. So this is what I'm going to address here and what you can do about this. So I'm trying not to step on dog toys. So there's a couple things you can do for yourself to help out with that creative side of you, to give yourself a little love. So we're going to discuss that in this video. First thing you do. When I was in a time where I couldn't art, there was just zero time. I couldn't put myself there. I was full. My plate, as I say, your plate's full. I had a platter, and it was overflowing with responsibilities. So what I ended up doing is I couldn't use my hands, and your hands are only part of the tools that you have. The other part is up here, the brain. So I couldn't work with my hands, so I used things to help me learn more. YouTube is a great resource. We know individuals on YouTube that do tutorials, do time lapse. You can just sit there and watch people work. I'm a visual learner. I love watching artists work. I get to see, them changing their mind, and it's like something goes different than they expected. They change tack. Well, let me do this and let me do this. I see the decision-making process that they go through. Or it's, wait a minute, I want to check out and try a new technique. And I mean, that's what happened with resin with me. I needed to work on a project in my studio. I did a little simple mosaic table, and I knew that wasn't going to work because it was all bumpy, and I needed to level it out. I didn't know anything about resin, and it was a time in my life I really couldn't create. I mean, my mosaic table's very, very simple. For me, it wasn't a lot of creativity in it, and all I could do was look at tutorials at that time in my life. So that's how I learned about resin, and I just filled my head up with it. So that's one avenue you could do. If you can't be creative, learn something. Play with YouTube, get to know either different artists, learn different techniques. Maybe it's just fill your head with, looking at the pretty as far as art and people exploring and creating. So that's one possibility. Another possibility is social media. Now, what does that offer you? Well, it offers a huge support group. It also offers the same thing as YouTube does. It gives you areas in which you can explore art, getting involved in different art groups and communities, whether they sell art and you're trying to set up for in the future when you are going to be able to create art and sell. You can go onto that group, start getting connected with other people that are selling, find out how they're doing it, start making plans for business applications. It could be going with like-minded individuals, like woodworking, or glass work, fusing glass, you can get really specific and find those art groups everywhere. You start connecting with other artists that are in the field you're interested in. And that's a great way of networking. It's also getting your name out there. They don't need to know your life story if you're not willing to give it that. And you might not be able to share. So enjoy, look around. Again, it's filling up your brain up there. You're taking that time for yourself. Getting connected with people. So do not At any point, I repeat this a lot in my videos. Don't be hard on yourself if you can't art. If you've got responsibilities you have to tend to, or any of those things I listed in the beginning of this video, that's okay. That's life. Life throws big curveballs. So do what you need to do and tend to yourself in different ways. So another area, Instagram's a big visual social media medium, and is really big with artists and stuff. That's a great place to network, build up connections with, learn new artists and mediums as well. Okay. Another area that you can help yourself out is still fill your life with art. If you're not able to produce the art, you can appreciate the art. Let's say your life is full, again, like I said, you've got no time. So maybe you're stuck at the hospital, you start paying attention to the art on the walls. You start paying attention to maybe colors and textures and what can I do and incorporate that in things you normally would work with. You know, some people like to mess around with mixed media and stuff. You know, how could you incorporate straws and stuff? You know, could you make a dress out of this? You know, sometimes they talk about, you know, using mixed media in different fashions and stuff, and you take it out of the box, it opens the mind up creatively. You know, it's creative processing. If you have time, you're on breaks, take 30 minutes out, go see a museum or something like that. It could be looking at artwork on greeting cards, you know, some thank you notes and things like that have really intricate designs on it. Magazines, you know, take a little time to be inspired. Another way you could do it is, well, again, touching through magazines again. If you are looking through a magazine, you see a neat idea, you see a neat image. Maybe it's a picture of a flower that's done in certain colors. You like those certain colors, it gives it a washed look. You really like that. You can start tearing out pages and build up a collection of things that inspire you later on when you need it. All right, this part will also help out too. If you have time, and it only needs a little bit of time, journaling is a great avenue for getting creative juices flowing. It could be used in a variety of fashions. You can do, you know, you're up in the middle of the night, you're working on stuff, you get an idea, jot it down a little bit. It could be you have a 10-minute coffee break. You could doodle a drawing out. You could even write down creative thoughts. You could write down your thoughts, what you're going through and stuff. Give yourself an outlet for your emotions, your feelings, and things like that. This could be a working section of who you are at the moment. The more and more you use a journal, the more you keep that creative flow going. Even if it's just doodles, or you're just messing around like you see this kid sitting there at the waiting room and they've got their hand on their mama's lap and it looks like, hey, the shadows look really cool. And you can whip out your journal that maybe you're carrying around your purse or your computer bag and stuff, and you just start, you know, drawing some sketches of her hand on her mama's knee, and you see the shadows and stuff. It doesn't take but a few moments, but it keeps every little bit like that, puts a little spot in your heart. So the more love you have, the more love you can give. So to wrap this up, always, 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 don't be hard on yourself. It's okay, life happens. If you're creative, you'll find a way. So all these videos had different steps, from intensity things to overcoming a tragic event to getting stuck and overwhelmed. Use which ones work for you, even if it's a combination of everything. That's okay. Just try. Don't be hard on yourself. Keep showing up. You'll find a way. It's up to you. Keep on creating, and we'll see you later. Bye.